behind the green room with Paul Provenza is now the brown room with Russell Peters. You can't come in, there's real comics in here.
Hey, I'm at the Montreal Just for Laughs Festival. The place is crawling with comics. You can come and hang with us if you're cool and you don't get offended by anything. We're here at the Mainline Theater in Montreal, which is a cool, isn't it a cool space? This is their homage to our normal thing.
So, is it mainly hockey sticks?
No, that's just a Canadian touch they put in there.
Right.
Does the Montreal, the little mascot, does that look like if you asked a redneck to describe a Jew? Like, is it... Like, well, a little green guy with a pointy nose and horns. Like that feels weird.
Oh, God. You know Judah?
Yeah, we just met in the van. We had a 4-hour van ride over here.
That's right,
We were just sitting in traffic.
I thought it was pretty good because everyone who has just got to Montreal, you know, we haven't been in Montreal long, but we were telling the driver who lives here, take a left here, take a left here.
And you know what? We were fucking right.
Yeah, okay. You were actually right.
If there's one thing a French-Canadian driver doesn't want to hear, it's a guy with a big American flag on his hat. I was like, turn right here.
Hey, I live in New York. I drive every night, so I know a lot about driving, man.
Can you just feel your way around a place? You just
you just go on instinct, dude. I was born in a taxi cab, dude. I know. Tonight was the first night I've ever been in traffic. I've never been in traffic in my life. I've executed every commute perfectly. This is the first time I've ever been in traffic. And it's only because I wasn't driving, man.
That's world champion
Yeah,
stuff.
I also own a spaceship,
What's the world champion thing?
He's a world champion.
What's your world? Oh, you're world champion at shirts.
No, the shirt says world champion because I'm the world champion.
Oh. Does that say world champion in Braille?
This is world champion in Braille. Okay. You see, let me explain. When you win the world championships, which are basically karate death matches for charity, they give you a hat that says world champion in the native language of the country where the world championships took place.
No way.
And as we all know, the last world championships were in Korea, and they were going to make it say world champion in Korean, but my karate kicks were too fast. They blinded all the judges permanently, so they were forced to make the hat in Braille.
And you got a flag on your glasses in case the hat comes off?
Yeah, these are actually from Puerto Rico. These were given to me by the Princess of Puerto Rico right after she blew me. She gave me these. That's what made the ceremony official.
People in Montreal don't know the character of the world champion.
They also don't know sports, you know, or they don't know karate.
But they'll look at you with the hat and the glasses and be like, "This is what they are all like down there. This is what they are like." Was that okay, French Canadian?
As far as I'm concerned.
Listen.
I thought it was kind of off, to be honest with you, dude.
I love Montreal, or Practice France, as I've been calling it.
Quebec it's France, but it's had studio notes. Someone from the network has been to France and gone, yeah, a few changes. We have some things. I like the cheese, but could we put it on fries? Would that work?
I like it.
Why is it called Quebecois when Montreal is a bigger city than Quebec and it could be called Montrealois? You know?
I think you've just answered your own question. you're so into language. It's just your best thing. I love it.
What's the deal on that? It's really, it's not really a love of language. It's just your insatiable desire to conquer the world market.
No, it's to infuse the world market like tea. So I've learnt la langue française et maintenant je peux parler français assez bien pour faire un spectacle en français. That's all, but it's not.
It's a bit much. I think
It's a bit much, right?
I think it's a bit much.
It feels like showing off, right?
It's a little bit
He's just really trying to belittle us now, right?
It's absolutely showing off, but in a brilliant way. And but also, it's not as hard as it looks. It's not as. It's all you got to do is just learn the language. It's not that hard.
See, when I go to France to perform, I actually make them learn English. And
That's the other way.
you see, that's more commitment.
And you get a lot of people doing that?
Yeah, and that gets more people learning different languages than just one person. So you're actually helping the world more.
I learned one phrase in French when I've been here, which I repeat all day long. I just say, "Désolé, je suis un Américain stupide," and that's
What is that? What is that?
It just means I'm sorry, I'm a dumb American. Like, and then they go, okay, okay.
Why are you putting down America, dude? America is still one of the top 3 countries in North America. Why are you putting it down, dude? We're in the top 3 every fucking year, dude, except for '95 when we came in 4th, but that's another story.
I say, je joue le volleyball en face de la poste.
Very good.
What does that mean?
Which means, well, when I learned French, I learned, you know, several verbs. I do, I play, I am. Several sports, volleyball, tennis de table, hockey. And then I learned en face is opposite, which is, I think, the only one I learned. And then I can substitute. I could say, je joue le tennis en face de la plage, or I'll jouer le football de table en face de la piscine.
Paul, I didn't know this show was going to be in French, dude. I didn't
Dude,
know.
it's the weirdest thing to have a whole fucking room laughing at shit I can't comprehend.
Have you not seen Dane Cook? I don't even know the guy, I just knew the reference.
Jimmy has a book coming out. You have a theory about why we even have comedy.
It's a little bit pretentious. Are you sure you want to hear it? Because it's pretentious.
I assume
Okay,
so.
so I was trying to think about why do we laugh? Why is there an advantage in an evolutionary sense, in a Darwinian sense, to laughing? And I think when a joke is basically you notice something that is out of place.
Incongruous.
Right.
Something is incongruous,
Right,
yeah.
something has surprised
So I'm
you.
saying that the ha-ha moment of a joke is very similar to the aha moment of, I've had an idea. So you're rewarding noticing difference and linguistic ability. And those are the 2 things that have led to our increased development the last 4,000 years. So humanity, when we started, when we were wandering around in the savannah, and you would look at a field, and you would see a lion in it, you'd notice that difference.
Nah, bullshit. God put us here. He made us out of clay in a fucking garden, and he ripped out one of them goddamn ribs and made a pussy.
He makes a very strong point. I would counter. I think there is an advantage. I think our culture has done very well out of laughter, out of humor, out of seeing something a little bit differently. And I think, you know, the last couple of 100 years, what?
Do we still have to buy the book?
We release endorphins when we laugh, and the reason people come to comedy shows is there's a release of endorphins, and you're happy, and there's a
Endorphins is another word for brain cum, basically. Right?
brain cum. You release brain cum. That is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Your brain does a little cum, and it makes you give a happy feeling, and there must be an evolutionary reason why we have that.
But I also think there's a certain communal aspect to it, that because a lot of times you'll see comics kill by just reminding people about things they already knew without any joke. And I think what's happening is people are laughing because there's this deep-seated evolutionary, like, I relate to you. We're all the tribe. We're all part of the same group.
I agree
So
with
is
that.
laughter the opposite of what we're doing right now? That's what I want to know. Is that what it is? 'Cause I'm fucking lost, man. I don't know what's going on, man.
No, but it's okay to talk about it.
Yeah.
If we don't talk about it, no one's going
That's
to
a
talk
good
about it. But
point.
you're right, it can be boring as crap.
Yeah.
Well, that's the classic quote about analysing comedy is like,
Right.
is like dissecting a frog. No one laughs and the frog dies.
Dissecting a frog gives me brain cum. I want to see endorphins all over the frog's tits.
I actually masturbate.
I masturbate to you masturbating to that.
I happen to love a hot cloaca.
Oh, nice.
What's cloaca?
It's like a brass instrument, but it's played like woodwind.
Say what it is?
A cloaca is a sexual organ of birds. Is there anybody here
Can we look
who
it up?
actually knows? What? What do you got?
This is a Wikipedia thing right here.
Oh, well, that will be accurate.
It's a vent.
That's a hot word.
Talk real
In
slow.
zoology anatomy, a cloaca is the posterior opening that serves as the only such opening for the intestinal, reproductive, and urinary tracts. So it's
all of it.
It's a big combo.
Oh, it's like a vaginus.
Yes. I think it's exactly that.
Just say vaginus.
It's also associated with a secretory organ which secretes brain cum.
Really?
Brain cum. Rock, don't drop it. Hey.
Good catch. What were we, so before we got on to vaginuses,
Yes.
what were we chatting about?
We were talking about.
Your idea about comedy and how analyzing
No, I'm just accompanying your conversation. Keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like him playing the instrument. Did you see Louis C.K. talk the other day?
Yes.
He talked about
Playing the audience like an instrument.
like an instrument. You don't know if a joke is funny until you tell an audience. And the idea that when the keyboard's there, you can tell whether that's going to work. Because
They are the co-writers. They're the sounding boards,
It's
aren't
interesting
they?
you say. I consider them the other actor in the scene.
Well, yeah, stand-up comedy is a monologue and a dialogue at the same time. With music in the background.
I think music bumps everything up.
yeah.
You can't practice stand-up. And people always ask me, why do you do so many shows? And I'm like, one, it's my favorite thing to do. And it's the most relaxing thing that I do.
Brain cum.
Exactly. I like having the audience come in their brains, and
But that is ultimately our job, is to release brain cum. I mean,
yeah.
that's
Brain cum.
We are brain cum expediters.
I still go with
The
indulgence.
expediters of brain cum.
Indulgence. They are the ones that I
Do you write? I'm asking you specifically. Do you write out your stuff, or do you have premises and you work it out on stage?
I have premises, and quite often they come to me, but they just arrive on stage.
Come.
Because, but they can't
So Chris,
It's just part of the magic.
I like the sunglass thing. What do you think? You think it works?
no one's gonna get.
She's fucking behind me.
No one is gonna get this reference, but you look like Chris Sarandon from Fright Night. No
I
one's
get
gonna
it. I get it. You do? I can't believe I got a reference you threw.
You did, yeah.
Because you're like your geek references. I'm left behind.
You look like Chris.
Are
Sarandon
you
from
like
Fright Night.
a huge like rock star at Comic-Con or what?
Well, Comic-Con does trick you into thinking that you're more popular than you actually are.
Everybody who works on the green room is female, pretty much. They all think you're like sexy and hot and gorgeous
Me?
and all that shit. Yeah. No, but I mean, you put the lie to
Chris,
the image of a nerd.
He's talking to me peripherally.
Oh yeah, that was it. But I don't think that. But I always say, like, people are like, oh, but I thought nerds just. But a nerd isn't about whether or not you like Star Trek or Star Wars or a nerd in my estimation is about obsessing over something to a molecular detail and almost borderline OCD. You will ignore almost anything good in your life to focus on this one thing and try to know more about that thing. I think
Do you
that's
think
really
the term nerd is overused?
Good joke. Yes.
I think the term nerd is
Absolutely,
overused.
it's become a cultural buzzword.
Right. People are people say like, oh yeah, I saw Star Wars, so I'm a nerd. It's like, no, everyone fucking saw Star
But
Wars.
it's become cool. It has become cooler, though, yeah. I do.
You know what I mean? It's like people, the definition of the word has changed over the years. The nerd used to be somebody who could never fit in no matter how hard they even tried, and they were so out of it, they didn't even know they didn't fit in. And now, like, everyone just says, oh, yeah, I'm a nerd.
The reason I use the word nerd is because I want to promote the idea that it's cool to be a rationalist and hyper and logical and all that sort of stuff, and nerd's the easiest pop catchphrase for that.
You know, I have this idea that, like, the redneckiest of rednecks has, you know, a smartphone or a DSLR camera or a laptop, a DVR or whatever, and so I think, you know, the nerds make the shiny things that distract the mouth breathers, and so that's why we are sort of... I just love that my iPhone is more powerful than the Whopper computer from War Games. Like,
I love this show. Every time my little wine cup empties, a man... This man with a wine cup goes, like it's really important and no one sees him. He's like this. Like, talk about an enabler. Like, he's going, Minchin's an alcoholic. Got it, check. I love this show.
Like, when you're getting close to empty on that, he's freaking out.
Can I ask, what is the difference between a geek and a nerd?
There's a lot of debate. I tend to think people mean the same thing, but if you ask one, they always say the other is the weaker class.
Nerd is getting laid more than geeks at the moment.
The Big Bang Theory has contributed to that. Comic-Con, the fact that Comic-Con are used.
Well, The Social Network was, I mean, the biggest movie last year.
Yeah.
The kind of the new hero is a nerd.
I mean, basically, the world at the moment is run by nerds. I mean,
I think
because of technology. And in fact, it's run by people with Asperger's.
No, that was the theme of Revenge of the Nerds. That was the whole theme of it.
Yeah.
There was a story today that Apple Computers has more reserve cash than the U.S. government.
I heard this.
Yeah, but that's not saying a lot. I might have more reserve cash in this game. And I'm not in good shape. We are really a global technocracy because we don't understand anything.
There's a famous Arthur C. Clarke quote, isn't there, about any significantly advanced technology will appear as magic. The iPhone, you might as well tell me there's a wizard in it. I mean, really.
There's an app.
But when all this chatter comes, like in elections, things like, what do you think about the economy? As if anybody fucking can figure any shit out except like 7 people.
Such an odd thing in the news media now where they ask you, what do you think? Give us a call. It's the news. You fucking tell me. It's the news. I don't know.
News doesn't do news anymore, man. It's just ratings.
All they want to do is create this blanket of fear, so because they, like you said, they have to get ratings, and so they're going to report on the worst, most horrific. That everything might kill you. Tune in. Oh fuck, you know, like.
Well, here's the thing: the fear mongering is the wrong fear mongering.
They fear monger things that to make people not look at the big issue.
Thank you. The fear mongering we should have is the fact that we're really just slaves to a handful of multinational corporations, every fucking one of us.
Multinational companies have become like nation states, and China just bought America. They're not going to invade.
Multi-nation states, really, because they're, if you took one out in one place, they're still existing in other countries. So we've seen that.
Is it wrong that I want to fuck your accents?
Excellent lecture.
Is that weird?
It's not wrong. It's reassuring.
They're so nice.
I just want to say, why don't you want to fuck my accent? What's wrong with... Well, my accent can take as good a fucking as any accent. My accent...
Your accent, Tim, sounds like it's already been fucked. Quite fucking hard, mate.
Would it be incredibly boring if I related this back to comedy? Because I feel like a political-ish person. I'm a lefty. I'm certainly liberal. I certainly don't think you should fuck with other people's shit unless it's damaging other people's shit and all that stuff.
Very nicely put.
But thank you. I'm a poet. I'm known to be a poet. But I don't do comedy about politics in the domestic politics sense. The reason I do comedy about logic and religion and belief systems is because I feel like I can go, well, that's fucking wrong, and this is why that's fucking wrong, and that's why I avoid politics, because I cannot get what's right and wrong about it.
I agree with you completely, and the issue is the values and the important things, right? Like your value of critical thinking is a value that is missing on both sides of Republican, Democrat, whatever.
It's a different thing for me as a comedian. I'm purely an entertainer. I've got no message at all. all I'm doing is trying to make people laugh. I don't think anyone should be listening to me particularly.
Yeah.
Here's my issue about talking about the minutia of politics is that then you are part of the narrative that they want you to have. You then become part of the distraction that the media, which is all a handful of corporations, have decided is going to be the narrative that you engage in.
What I find difficult about politics and stuff is I'm frustrated by the limitations of the power of critical thinking, because I'm obsessed by critical thinking and go, right, all my beliefs are formed like this, so I'm going to try and be as clear thinking as possible. And then you hit politics, and because of the massive complication of media and the narrative we're sold and all that, you hit it and your powers are useless because you don't have all the information. And that's why I try not to do comedy. If you're doing comedy about what's on the front of the newspapers to kind of give my spin on what you're saying, someone's telling you what to think about.
Exactly my point.
Because just because the papers tell you that's what's important today, that's not necessarily what, as any sort of artist,
No,
you
you're
should
right.
be
No,
doing.
as an artist, you need to be bringing yourself to people, is what you're saying.
Fuck what's in the papers.
I think we have created a place, particularly in the UK and in America as well, where you can be comic philosophers, where you just put out your idea of where things should go or what things should be or whatever. And I think people want to listen to a voice. So I happen to be going into politics, so I'm trying to put forward something that is quite a long-term thing.
You're going to run for European politics, right?
Sorry, no, I will stand for Mayor of London or Member of Parliament or Member of the European Parliament.
When?
In 2020.
Do you think you can win?
I think I can win.
I think I can win too.
I think I can communicate. I've got a lot of energy.
You look good in a dress.
I will have to have two looks. I will be a transvestite politician, so that's going to be slightly different.
You're your own first lady. That's adorable.
And I've done a few things in slightly different ways.
Listen, most politicians do not have the experience that a master stand-up comedian will have dealing, like, you will be able to fucking destroy anyone in a debate.
Well, there is that, but there is a slight difference that you can't use comedy quite as the tool that we use it.
I mean, if I got elected as a politician, I do not think I could say in a debate in the House of Commons, yeah, but I fucked your mum. It just wouldn't.
I think you could.
They wouldn't. I believe that that's just the kind of candidate we need.
I don't doubt that you'll become a politician because you set yourself the goal and you'll do it. It just strikes me as an odd thing to want because you're in movies, you're being a stand-up.
I understand you.
Why would you want to do anything else? I cannot understand.
Because I can't leave it to the right wing. I cannot leave it to the fascists.
So you
I will stand up against the fascists. I will fight all my life against the fascists. I will just do that. I just want to do that. I just don't like them.
Jimmy, you gotta face it, he cares more about things than you do. You just
Everyone cares more than I do. My favourite thing about comedy, my favourite quote, I was chatting to a friend years ago, Mike Wilmot, he said, a room of 3,000 people, a comedian is the one person facing the wrong way. And I think that sums us up as people. I think we're all a little bit off. We're all kind of on our own. We're not good team players. Politics is about being a team player.
I quite like being a team player.
Yeah, but see,
I do improv as well. And
Ray
improv
also acts too, so he's a team player.
Yeah.
You're wrong, dude.
World champion.
World champion approved, right here, dude.
I think stand-ups are the person in the room. We almost get up and articulate what maybe the room is thinking or hoping or an idea that they hadn't thought of. It's like we're very real. We have to be very rooted, which is the trouble if you get successful because you suddenly lose a connection with people.
I don't think that would affect my act in one.
No, because
He said, why it wouldn't affect your act?
why?
I said, because people will always rape. I have a bit for you that I want to tell you because I've never been able to use it because it just doesn't suit my act.
Oh, great. Okay, go on.
I want to give you a joke.
Yeah, done. Thanks.
I'm not going to do it now.
Do it now!
I also get this with
people
comics
do it to me.
in Montreal or at Edinburgh.
they
when you're
go,
around
"I
comics,
couldn't say
they come
this."
up, they say,
you
"Listen, I wrote this joke about raping a baby. I can't tell that joke, but maybe you could." And you go, "Have you seen my act? It's not that bad."
What is
the last 15 minutes?
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
Wow.
It's a beautiful joke. It's a beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good,
joke.
but
It's a
there's
stunning
but
joke.
it's about the turn on the language. It's not really about anything other than.
Exactly. It's about expectations.
There's no sense in which I'm going to say that because then people are going to think differently about that.
AIDS. Yeah.
They'll have a laugh and then
Well, it
they'll
is
move to the
about
next
saving mosquitoes. People don't talk about that. Who's talking about the mosquitoes? You brought it up, man.
I want to shave your hair off.
Do you really?
Yeah, I saw a photo of you today with shorter hair. I think we need to get you back to.
No, that's so interesting. On TV shows, you can say, let that guy eat that balloon and then fuck that rabbit. And you go, yeah. People go, and then you go, I gotta do it now. That is one of the weird things on television.
I just want to say, Paul, I don't expect you to eat a balloon or fuck a rabbit. But I think we should shave your head.
I'd rather eat a balloon or fuck a rabbit than shave my head.
Well, eat a balloon and fuck a rabbit it is.
He's backed you into that one.
Oh, he got me
Check
again!
and mate, Kasparov.
You think? Oh, look at the time. What a shame. We gotta go. Tim Minchin! Judah Friedlander! Chris Hardwick! Hello! Jimmy Carr! And future Senator of England, Izzard! Thank you, Mainline Theater. Thank you, Montreal.